Alright guys, we got this Dell computer here we're going to put back together. I don't know if it's going to work. I believe it's a Windows 7. I'm just guessing because the type of old stuff it's on it. We have the main PCU board. So we got PCU right here. Just take the PCU out, you just push this down, pops right up like so. It looks pretty good. Take these contacts right here. You look at those contacts, make sure they're okay. They look okay. I didn't put no water on it. I don't think it hurt it. I just don't want it to get messed up. Fragile basically. This is the PCU, yeah. There's these little notches it goes in on both sides. Make sure you got it back in there, and then you just push this down. Snaps right back on there. This is an older computer, you could tell because the printer plug right here is the older styles like Windows 95, Windows 98. This plug, there's no HDMI cable on here at all. No HDMI ports. But that's your video plug. Your sound, it has USB ports, and you have your internet port, your regular internet box port on there. That tells you it's most likely a Windows 7 because of all these ports on there. These is your mouse and computer, your keyboard plugs. They put that on there so if you have like a Windows 98 and you want to upgrade to Windows 7, you can still plug your newer types in there. You can plug your regular 2025 keyboard up into here and it will still work and everything. You got these spots right here. That's your video cards. The more video cards you got in, the better video quality you have. These right here are for more upgrades things. So, for example, if you have a chip, like this chip right here, is a dial-up chip. If you want to connect dial-up to your computer, it just plugs right in there. So when it's plugged in, you connect your dial-up to it. So you kind of get the gist of how this works. So we're going to be installing it into this frame right here. I got everything for it. I have the cooling fan, driver. So this right here is a, let's see, it is a 80 gigabyte driver. As you can see, 80 gigabyte driver. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead, I guess with this we're going to put in first. So let's get this out of our way. If I remember, this goes in corner. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and put this where y'all can see it. It's got junk all in here. Let me go ahead and dump all that out. So when I get back on here, we have it cleaned out, guys. A lot of times I take Lysol wipes, regular Lysol wipes, and I just clean it top to bottom, just get all the germs out. There's a lot of times corrosion on these circuit boards, main drivers and stuff, and you just clean it out. If you want, I think a lot of scratches of this thing can polish out, but Lysol wipe mostly gets everything off. Just gotta work at it for a minute. Yeah, she's a deal. Just wipe it down a little bit, clean it, and then the inside, I believe this is where the DVD player goes and things. You just wipe all that good stuff down. There's a little surface rust right in here. Shouldn't hurt anything. Maybe stuff like zip ties and stuff. You are going to need zip ties to put it all back together. Oh, how'd that get in there? But, yeah. Just need to clean it up. Take some time. The inside, I got as most out of it as possible. But, I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down. Looks like there's something spilt in here. Well, I'll get right back to you after I'm done. Okay, it looks better than it did. So, go ahead and take our gigabyte drive here. RAM. Let's see, how does this go in here? I think it goes in here like so. Yeah, it's gonna get in these grooves that are right here. These little pins. Grooves. They go right in there. And then you flex it. And then you're gonna need screws. So I happened to save all those screws that I found on this computer. In this baggie. Sorry for putting in bags. These screws are maybe about half an inch. I don't know. Something like that. You can only take like a 8mm or regular screwdriver. So, regular here. Screws in right here. There is this little another deal right here for a second one, and it just clamps like so, like that. Screw, but we're gonna wait to put that in. There is this right here, your button. It has your on switch and everything. This one's cut for some reason. I think this goes right here. Yeah, that's gonna go right there. Somehow. Oh yeah, it just snaps in there. There we go. Now we're gonna put the DVD player it came with it in. It's older DVD player. So it's an older one. 12 volts, 5 volts. Right in there, plug situation. You gotta have the big long plug like this. This end plugs into it. This end plugs right into the main circuit board. And then you plug that one into the DVD player. But let's go ahead and install it. You might want to clean it up a little bit with your Lysol wipes or whatever you use to clean it up. So I think it goes in from the front. So you're gonna put it right there. You're gonna put it in right from the front. And there's 2 slots for 2 of them. If you have one of them, that's okay. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure you put it in the right way. I prefer putting it on the bottom. One thing I forgot to do is you got 2 sets of bolts. You got this one and that one. Same on the other side. That one, this one. And if these right here, you only need 1, so there's probably 3 bolts on there. Never take these off or you're going to have a hard time getting them back on. If I can find the screwdriver, you take your screwdriver, you just unscrew that bolt there. After you unscrew that, then you can go ahead and install it inside of your computer. You don't have to have a DVD player, but I suggest you put one in there. Then you can go ahead and install it, and again, facing the right way. Put it in there. Now, you got your bolt here. Leave it alone. And you have a hole here. That screw you just took out. You're going to put it in that hole. Tighten it as hard as you can. Try not to strip it out. Strip it out, it's not coming back out. Then, you just installed your DVD player. Next, we're going to move on to the power supply. Again, you want to clean your power supply off. This one is the same power supply. It works, so I'm going ahead and going to use it. And go ahead and use whatever your cleaning method is. Again, for me, Lysol wipes. Lysol wipes are good. You clean it right up, it'll look brand new. Brand spanking new. Okay. Then this side where you see the plug, you're going to install it like so. See, I don't remember exactly how this goes in there. I think it just flops in there. Yes. It just sets in there if you can get it in there. Then you take your spag of screws. And you're going to need 4 out of there. I suggest you getting one out at a time, so you don't lose them. But there is one here, one here, one here, and one down here. Just starting with your fingers. I suggest you to put more. After you start a screw, you put another screw in. Is my suggestion for you. Then after you get it started, you can go ahead and tighten those up. And after you get all those tightened, it should be installed. Okay? So it should look something like this. Then you got all this wiring. A lot of it you probably don't know what it goes to, but these are gonna go to your gigs. So this right here, this spare, but this one's open, so it plugs in right here. I suggest for you is to plug everything in before you put the main board in. There is one thing that we never put in, so we're gonna have to take this back off, which that's okay. It happens to everyone. And it's simple to take off. Again, you just take the screw out. And then it just pops right out. And what we forgot to put in is this USB port right here. It goes to the front. So you just shove these wires right here. And then it just snaps in there. Like so. And there's a screw up here too. So, like that. And you need to take your screw out of your bag. And then you put the screw over here. Holds that in. Tighten it to where you can't tighten no more. And you gotta put this back in there. Now, here's where the zip ties come in place. You take your zip tie, and there's this little corner over here. 2 holes. There's 1 hole, there's 2 holes. You're gonna take your zip tie to where it closes, like so. And you're gonna stick it in from the other end, like so. Both of these wires come from the USB port. These two, you're gonna zip tie them. You're gonna loop this back through the other hole. And then you're gonna pull it tight. So you should have something like that. Zip tied up. And then you can just let those loose. Should be fine. And then you're going to install this once again. You're going to take your screw from your bag. You're going to put it in the hole. Tighten it to where it's snug. Now, there's this bracket. If yours has another one, great. Go ahead and install it the same way. That's usually for so you can put another gigabytes, more gram in there. So you go ahead and install it the same way. Where it's snug. Now, this is what you got so far. This stuff got this right here. This is going to be your RAM plugs, your 2 gigabytes. Go ahead and plug that. right in there if you can. Should go right in there. Now, I think we're ready to install our main driver board. I'm going to show you how to do it. Simple. All the screw holes. So you're going to pull all the wiring back. Cram it in there like so. Don't get this one over here stuck in there. And then there's some underneath. In my opinion, these, go ahead and plug them in to where they go. I think we actually put this in backwards, so make sure the plugs are on the back like so. Lift this wire once again. This should just slide right in there. It's okay to use a little force. Those plugs, you're gonna need them. So pull them out from behind there. My opinion again, you want to go ahead and plug those in. So this goes right here. This plugs in over here. Okay, now you want to start putting your screws in. Again, the screws in the bag will work. Screw here. Make sure it's all lined up. Snug. You don't want to over tighten the screws on your circuit board. Go ahead and put the bottom screw in. Now there's two under here, as you can see, silver spots, ground. They need to be snug but not too tight to where they would break the circuit board, because they have to make good ground connection. If you want to, you can go ahead and put cleaner on the screws before you tighten them. In this case, the screws are already clean, so you don't have to do that. So let me get all this done real quick. There's two screws over here. There's one right here, one right there. So you go ahead and install those. Then you got some down in the corner. I think we only have one screw left in the board. That's gonna be right there. So we can do this nice and quick. Now since we got that screw in, we can go ahead and connect these connections. This connection right here is gonna plug in right so. Make sure this is like more in here. Should help. This big plug right here is gonna plug right here. Then you have this blue plug. I don't know what color yours is. Mine's blue, but then you're gonna plug it in right here. It should go right in. Try not to get all these tangled. All these plugs go up here, which is a dumb setup to me. This plug right here should go and plug in right here. Okay. There's a spot for that battery right here. You don't technically have to have it, but if you reboot like the computer, like if you unplug the computer at any time, you might have to change your clock because your clock is going to reset. Things like that. That's all that battery is there for. If you change something in the settings, probably won't change it. It just depends what it is. If it's something important, it will keep it the same. But yeah. So, next, we're going to install the heatsink. So your big chunky heatsink right here. Now this heatsink has a little bit longer screws. You need 4 of them. You would need these little green tabs. Yours might be a different color, but mine are green. So we're going to go ahead and install this bracket on top of the PCU. And you have the 4 bolts. One of the bolts go in here. Pretty long screws. Go ahead and install all 4 screws. After you install that, you would probably take the PCU out, blow on it, put it back in. That's just how I would do it because there might be stuff might have fallen in there when we took it out originally. And remember, it goes in there one way, so you don't want to break those tabs off in there. You can update your PCU in there to a faster PCU. The computer should run much better if it's an older one. Again, this is a Windows 7, so when it updates to like Windows 10, Windows 11, it probably won't run as fast. But you change this one out to a better PCU, a newer one, 2025, 2024. It should run a lot better. What you're going to do is you're going to take this right here. I'm not sure how this came apart. I think that goes in there like so. These, there's a hand, snap in there somehow. Pretty sure they go like that, so you're gonna snap it in like this. You're back in. I can't get it to go in there. Oh, it just snaps in there. Then these just snap in there just for precaution. You're gonna do the top. I know you can't see. Same way as the bottom though. Just snaps in there. Now, we are 99% finished with this computer. Now we're gonna install this part of it. Remember, the two sockets right here go on top. So then you're gonna plug right in. Like so. The end of this goes in like this. Okay, after plugging that in, make sure it's all the way in there. It's not gonna work. Now, we gotta install our cooling fan. I believe it goes like this. Yeah, it goes like this. Oh, maybe it goes the other way. Then you're gonna push up. Should snap right in there. This plug right here goes over here. Then you have to have the shield. Goes in like this. And it folds over. Clamped right in there. So, if you followed along this far, you should have a pretty good, well-built computer. Now, I don't have no side for it. You could probably order a side. The only thing I got with the computer was the front part of it. So, go ahead, wipe it off with your Lysol wipe or whatever product you use. You wipe it down. It should snap right on there. I can't get it to snap all the way on there for me. But if you got this far, you got yourself a built computer. So, if you like this video, make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe, tell me what I need to fix next. So, go ahead, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications bell, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.